Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I've got 5 meta builds for you, and they consist of 3 being striker builds. The third striker build can interchange to a chain blaze build. The fourth one is another chain blaze build, but is sort of off meta. I know it's kind of contradicting, but it still can deliver real good DPS. So I really want to put it in this particular video. And then the fifth and the last build will be a all-round hammer powerhouse, and that's like one of my favorite builds at the moment. And the addition to Catalyst really has helped hammers grow into what they are now. They're not the best, but the stagger potential right now is really good. So I'm looking at a blabber on stat, but it's really good at the moment. If you guys do come to my stream, I'm going to link that down there as well. Feel free to follow me. I'd appreciate that. This build is probably my most reliable build. I don't use it as much now. I use it for one particular thing, and if you do come to my streams, you know this as my Valomyr Destroyer, because I hardly ever run Iceborne in any of my builds, but when I fight Valomyr, I don't really like his fight, and I think he's a pain, and he's just really boring in my opinion. Sorry, but I just don't like him. So this is my Valomyr build, but it actually doesn't just stop at Valomyr. It destroys anything. It's really good for newbies up to veteran players. If you just want to shred through content at end game, try and just grind whatever you need, escalations, normal hunts, or even just get sub 3s on most behemoths and trials, probably can get it with this build. So I'll quickly go you through this perk overview. It goes with Berserker 3 because of the nice prismatic cell slots, Conduit. Just a side note as well, any build with the Conduit cell can be interchanged to Catalyst if you really want. If you want to waste your tonics or just use them, it's up to you. It's not a problem. But I didn't want to waste it, and with this build, you don't really need to. Still quite reliable. Obviously, Titan's Crash, Psychonic Strike Plate, and Stalker's Scorn is bonded to give it that +3 Wild Frenzy. And then went with it again, Wild Frenzy again. Boreas Chest with Iceborne. Boreas Arms with Discipline. Then Boreas Legs with Berserker again. I went with the Embermane's Lantern with Conduit. This build really does emphasize on attack speed because you want to keep your health up to the max of it being 400. Because of the Berserker 6, it drops your health by 300, which puts you straight down to 400, which is the lowest you can possibly get with a build. Unless you're running, obviously, Shroud build is the lowest you're probably going to get. So this is why I paired up that with the Conduit to give you the attack speed and the Wild Frenzy +6. Obviously, Wild Frenzy and the Rage pairs up. Obviously, these two are meta, which pairs up with the Discipline. These 3 perks here, Rage, Wild Frenzy, and Discipline, these are kind of like the overall meta in terms of cell slots if you're trying to go for DPS. So this is what this build focuses on, and that's why I went with the Embermane's Lantern, just to give me that bit more attack speed. Any of these builds as well, as another side note, you can definitely change the Embermane's Lantern to Drask or Pangar. These two are also viable, but with this particular build and the others, there's particular lanterns on my preference for that build's sake, but you can definitely change it to whatever you want. But the perk overview goes like this. +6 of Berserker, Conduit, Iceborne, Rage, and Wild Frenzy, leaving +3 Discipline, and then that +3 Rage Hunter for that extra damage when it does go in Rage. I think this is a real good solid build, like I already said, for anything. So if there's one build you want to test out, definitely test out this if you're just trying to shred free content. I'm now going to put you guys through some runs, not just with this one, but with the other 4 builds. I'm not going to go through them like this with the others. I really wanted to emphasize this particular one because I think it's a real good all-around build. Yeah, if you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and once again, feel free to like and subscribe. It really does help me. I'd appreciate it. And the next video out is going to be this one here. Hopefully I've got that there somewhere. And yeah, for the rest of the video, thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. So it wouldn't be right if I called this build the Valomyr Destroyer if I didn't actually show you guys a Valomyr fight. As I've already said to you before, this is a very reliable build. It doesn't have to just be Valomyr, as it's very universal. I really enjoy it. I'm not really a fan of Iceborne, but this one sort of rewards you for dodging as well and being on your toes because you have got the Berserker 6, as mentioned before. But if you guys are struggling with Valomyr, this is actually an heroic Valomyr. Obviously not a heroic plus, but still the same principles apply. Try and focus ahead as much as possible, and you will get an early stagger. And then after the head does actually break, you're going to be focusing the legs. But you can also bait his movement. You can go to the one of the legs to make him do his little beam light, and then go to the horn to continue doing damage, and vice versa with the horn going to the other leg. So yeah, after the head snaps, you get quite a lot of uptime for OP state. Just focus on one of the legs. Roll up your mantras then as well. It's a good time. Then you can focus on snapping that other leg. Also, another stagger might come around about this time. If it's a Heroic Plus, it probably won't come in this early, but regardless. You either choose to focus ahead to get another stagger for my OP state. I just realised I broke the arm, broke the leg as well at the same time as the stagger. I didn't actually realise until I clapped, and then I was like, alright, cool, I'll go to the other leg. Yeah, about the time. He's almost dead already. So as you can see, this build is very, very nice. I do try and dodge the enrage, but this is like the hardest enrage to dodge. I can't seem to get the timing correct even after all these times fighting Valomyr. But yeah, these balls just block me so much. But yeah, I get another stagger, and yeah, that wraps up Valomyr, man. You just put the Valomyr Slain in the heroic version just to prove that it is actually heroic. This goes for all the behemoths as well. Moving on to arguably one of my favourite builds in the game for DPS, and I'm not going to say anything apart from I'm just going to let the build just show you what it does. I do mess up the beginning of the fight, but it doesn't matter. You'll see. Lol, good combos. If done correctly, this is what can happen. You can stagger chain Rezakiri if you can break the parts as well in between. That's 2 staggers and 2 part breaks already. That's the 4th part break, and then kill on the stagger. This build is really, really nutty. It does reward the player if you can keep the Predator up, as I did in this fight. Moving on to the build 3, obviously this is the one with the variant of the chain blades and the strikers, so I'll show you both runs with exactly the same behemoth. I actually use Predator right here on the boop, so it's quite interesting to see how much damage this can still do regardless of losing Predator. With the chain blades, I didn't actually go for a heavy slam attack, I just focused the legs. Nice early stagger. I apologise about if there's lag there. That was a screen tear. I don't know why that happened. There you go, first leg break. Now we'll focus on that second break. Second leg break. Still haven't used my slam down attack. And there you go. That's Pangar done. Once again, there's quickly proven to you that it is heroic Pangar. Frostback Pangar, should I say. Yeah, there's actually the same build just with the strikers this time, and this time I don't actually use Predator at all. Get a nice boot. Didn't trade this time because I'm used to it with the strikers. Chain blades for some reason, I keep trading with Pangar. Get that early stagger on him. There's more stagger damage with the strikers. Watch out for those icicles. That's the first leg break. Second leg break. And that's the kill on the stagger. Arguably the strikers are better, but the chain blades do work, and I did lose Predator in that run, so take that with a grain of salt, but both of them are really, really good powerhouse builds. Once again, prove that it's heroic Frostback Pangar. Okay, moving on to my 4th build, the chain blades one, which is arguably not that meta, but it's a taste on meta with critical damage. But it's probably one of my favourite builds in the game. If you can keep the Predator up on this build again, it can do devastating damage as well. As you can see, it's a really staggered Tempestborne heroic Stormclaw. Just trying to focus ahead as much as possible. Does the enrage with the Reaper's Dance. That's a face break. Trying to work on that leg. This is a nice way to actually rebound the orbs. If you walk towards him, just walk and then do a heavy. But he actually didn't. He actually missed. And I actually trade the boop, so I lose Predator. But regardless, you can still see, even with the loss of Predator, it still does a ton of damage. And with this is a bit more forgiving because you got the crit. You can still do a lot of damage even if you lose Predator, so it's quite nice. Yeah, this build does heavily emphasize crit damage, and it's a bit of a fun build. Just to prove once again that it is a heroic version of the Behemoth. Don't anyone slating me. Moving on to the Powerhouse Hammer build. Just getting my power buffs. Nice little dash over towards his head. And just watch how many times I stagger him. I know it's only heroic version and not heroic plus, but still, it can still do devastating damage on heroic plus as well. So that's the second stagger. That's the third stagger. Bearing in mind the uppercut at the moment with the hammer is a bit broken, so you can't really do it. But yeah, look how many staggers there was. It didn't even get a chance to go in rage. And I'll prove that it is heroic Deadeye Quillshot as well. I thought I'd show another example showcasing this build if you didn't think the Quillshot example wasn't enough. So you got a heroic shot draw on the Zaga here. I always try and go for the boot with the double heavy Ether Slam. I just find it more consistent. Saying that, I miss here. But I do luckily get it with the second one. But yeah, once again, a side note. Again, I didn't really mention this already. There's the first dagger, by the way. The uppercuts with the hammer right now are kind of scuffed, so I just choose and opt to go for the windmills and not mess up my combos. Another stagger coming in nicely. Choose to re-up my buff right now. I could have been a bit more better focus by doing the shock orbs through the middle. Regardless, in rages, do a nice little dodge. Dodge this move. And unfortunately, I actually do lose Pred here, but it doesn't matter because it actually dies in the next hit. I think it dies to AoE damage, but regardless, hopefully you guys try these builds or at least like one of these. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the day, guys.